Hey guys, how
Hi.
you doing?
Very well. How are you, sir?
Yeah, great commentary. Absolutely loved it.
That's very kind of you to
Well,
say.
the check's in the post, George. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like listening to you two was like having a couple of mates in the room at the same time as actually watching the game without having a couple of, So I saved on the beer, I saved on the nuts, the crisps, everything.
Yeah. You didn't have to clear up. Nothing. It was just sort of...
Didn't have to kick us out because we got too drunk.
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't spill red wine on your carpet.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the neighbours weren't knocking on the wall either. So
God.
So an enjoyable afternoon all round, George.
Yeah,
how did you see the match?
Yeah, it's been a great day. I mean, I literally for the first time in ages, I sat down from the morning and started watching the football all the way through to the Spurs game. And I have to say that the officiating today just seems to, each game that we seem to have just seems to get worse and worse and worse. And that officiating today was absolutely diabolical. What Vila were allowed to get on, and it was so obvious that Gerrard basically told them to go out and just rip us to pieces to try and disrupt the pattern of our game, because he knew that they couldn't compete ultimately with what he had seen over the last few weeks. And the ref should have seen that. I mean, it was so cynical. It was unbelievable, and the ref just let them get away with it. And the best response is what we did to them. To batter them 4-0 is the best response. And I hope they've gone into that changing room with their tail in their legs, between their legs. I really do.
Excellent. I agree. I wasn't. I mean, we were saying it in the time, but it just. A ref having a bad game, you can sort of understand, but not just when it comes to Spurs games, but the level of officiating in English football seems to be leaving a lot to be desired these days. George, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, I saw it last week with the Newcastle game. The ref let so much slide to the point where then ultimately there was a melee. And Bentancur ends up getting a yellow card for no real reason other than the fact that we've got to start standing up for ourselves.
Yeah.
And it was obvious today. I mean, Harry left his foot in and ended up getting a yellow. At some point you've got to stand up for yourself. What I was most impressed with was Kuti, how he kept his cool and how he has kept his cool over the last 3-4 matches, not getting a yellow card. He's been up, for me, he's been the man of the match today. He was, I think, last week as well. He has become just an immense player for us. Thoroughly impressed. He just seems to be getting better and better. I can't wait to see what heights he's going to reach. I just hope we manage to keep hold of him. He's just absolutely superb today.
Fullbacks or wingbacks. Obviously, we saw Doherty come off injured. Reggie back in the starting lineup. Were you surprised that Conte decided to go with the sort of selection that he had last week, given that essentially both of his left wingbacks were available?
Not really. I thought that they both performed well. I kind of have a bit of a difference of opinion with you on that, Rez, with regard to Emerson. I think he's, he is starting now to grow into this role. I actually think he had quite a decent game today. I mean, considering what they threw at him, and you're absolutely right, most of the stuff was targeting him. And the amount of balls that he had to deal with over the afternoon was were difficult. It was a difficult situation, but I think he handled himself properly. Again, he gave as good as he got. He took a man out, I think, towards the end of the game, on about 70-75.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that in the players. Exactly the same with Doherty. When they get really, their confidence is at a low. They're getting a bit of hassle from the fans, but they're able to get that composure to grow. And I think they both are. And so I thought Doc had a really good game last week, so I wasn't surprised that he got played in, and they kept the formation the same.
Okay.
I was quite happy with it.
And I mean, do you see Emerson staying? Because the rumours are that Atletico Madrid are interested. Would you see him staying? Would you want him to stay?
Look, you can only improve on your squad where it's required. I think that Conte will want to improve on both the wing-back positions. And look, it's the way of any progressive football club that you should do that. So I'm not going to get precious over players. I hope he does go on to do well, because, like I said, it's the quality I like in a player, the sort of coming back from adversity. I have a feeling Conte will, unless they really, he does the unexpected and becomes a phenomenal wing back. I mean, it's in the realms of possibility. I've seen worse players than him come on and really improve. But I think that's the measure of the manager as well. We've got a diamond in Conte, and I think it's pivotal to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club to keep him and keep him happy. So if he wants to replace them, then Daniel Levy, put your hand in your pocket and give him what you want.
Absolutely. Midfield we talked about the defence. I think our midfield, obviously games are won and lost in midfield, and we did win the game, but did you see, my feeling was that our central midfield pairing were not as good as they've been recently. How did you see Højbjerg and Bentancur's performance today?
What happened in the first half, what I saw was a rattled Tottenham side. They were rattled with the physicality of the game, and that left Coutinho with way too much time on the ball. The centre of midfield, Bentancur and Højbjerg was, I think, managing things a little bit better than Bentancur. I think he struggled to try and get the ball in the positions that he would have liked them in order to progress the game, simply because our passing became very wayward. I think the early exit of Doherty and just simply the physicality of the game, I think rattled us. And like Ryan, I think that whatever Conte masterminded in the dressing room at half time, whatever he said to them, did the trick, because they came out, they played their game, they held their shape, and when it was needed, they left the foot in when it was required. So it's, yes, I think that in the first half we were definitely losing that midfield battle, but I think in the second half, Harry kept that slightly deep position to help out there, and unfortunately for him and his golden boot potential, I think he's giving that up in order to maintain that slightly creative role at the moment. I think it's I think that's definitely advice coming from Conte, and simply, it worked when Mourinho was was there as well, but at that point we didn't have Kulu and we didn't have Bentancur. But yeah, look, there's a lot to still be done in respect of recruitment into this squad, and definitely a creative midfielder is something that's required, just to give it more scope to our play.
It's been going around the sort of fan base for the last sort of week or so. So I'm going to ask the question: is Eriksen that player?
Yeah, I'm going to be a bit unpopular here, and I'm going to say, unfortunately, not. I've not on any other basis than the fact that it was his choice to leave Tottenham, and if you've got a partner who decides to get up and leave, I think you don't jump back into bed with your ex. It's just something that doesn't work often. It can do, but more often than not, I don't think it's, again, I think that there would be a touch of nostalgia. I don't think that would be being done for the right reasons. And as I said, it rarely works. I mean, I've only got to see Baku and his, and what happened with him since he's gone back to Chelsea. And no circumstances are always the same, but I would rather they looked elsewhere, and I would rather Eriksen be admired at the moment from afar by us as opposed to being reintroduced.
Okay, cool. George, final question then. Top 4, yes or no?
This is a tough one.
Do we start believing? We need to start believing. I mean, I'm believing. I'm a believer. But what do you think?
I'm going to be quietly hopeful. I did always, every time Ben asked me this question, or Sim, I always said, look, it's going to depend on a capitulation from Arsenal and Man United, and that's what's got us really to where we are. They don't lose their games. The positions stay the same even if we keep winning.
Yeah.
So it's I'll just change it slightly. What I'll say is that as long as we don't capitulate, yes, I do think we can make top 4.
Brilliant. George, well, you're obviously glad we haven't come round and trashed your house. And it's a pleasure to have you on as always. And thank you very much.
What time are you guys finishing?
Once we've got through all the wonderful people such as yourself, George.
Well, I'll speak to the missus. How's that? And maybe...
That would be very much appreciated. No, we appreciate your time, George. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. Great to speak to you, as always.
And come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Take care, mate.